Morning, family. It's Marshawn on Conscious Thought 101. Today, it's a Black History subject. Try and keep the video short. I consider short under 20 minutes, but you know it is what it is. So, all the Black History talk seemed to be a campaign with media, social media, to throw some type of confusion or alternate flow of knowledge and a purpose of Black History Month in February. You know, we have the type of scandals, rumors. Used to hear growing up, you hear a lot of comedians say, oh, they gave us the shortest month of the year. Why is it the shortest month of the year? Why is it not in June with Juneteenth? Why is it this? Why is it that? As if nobody took the time to research the origins and how it developed. It was developed by an intelligent Black man by the name of Carter G. Woodson. And I'm wondering why his name never comes up, as far as we know, among the other garbage that's floating around. That's an even bigger question in itself, and it's discerning. Dr. Carter G. Woodson started Black History Week in honor of Frederick Douglass, which was celebrated as Douglass Day on February the 14th, and Lincoln's birthday on February the 12th. He started it to centralize, I want to say harmonize, Black history. Because as freed slaves and freedmen, a lot of people knew their history amongst each other, what they did in their general area, but it wasn't a centralized philosophy or a place to pull from and to celebrate it wholeheartedly. And another thing that Carter Woodson brought up, which is largely in this book, published in 1933, The Miseducation of the Negro. Well, I want to clarify, February 1926 February when he created Black History Week. Douglass Day was celebrated since the late 1800s. Black History Month was codified in 1970. I forget which president it was, but it don't matter. Codified in 1970. In 1976 was when every president started acknowledging Black History Month. Now, with that being known, anybody can look it up. Dr. Woodson focused in his studies on the cultural indoctrination of Black people through institutions, mainly schools, universities. With the Black culture being hijacked to the extent of the teachings that you're genetically not smart enough to do anything on your own. You need us to teach you what's going on. To the extent that nobody did. The Greeks were the founder of everything. Anything of true historical context with Black people is literally erased. And if it comes up, white institutions would just say, oh, that's it's hyperbole, it's not true because we said so. It's just getting down to the foundation of it. Because we said so, it ain't true. I don't care what you find. Oh, that's a fake. How's it a fake? Can you interpret this? Well, I don't know anybody that can interpret this ancient language, but we just know it's fake because we said so. But can you prove that it's fake? No. We just say it is. You see the point? So, it was this passion to study the different cultures of black people around the country to see how he can uplift them through self-learning because they were not being dependent on anybody else to help them because they were taught to be dependent. If somebody taught your child, you ain't nothing, you can't do nothing, your brain ain't big enough, all these scientific fraudulent philosophies, you're just not capable. You need to be a preacher or a teacher. So basically, you're going to be educated enough to teach the white man's version of religion. You know, white Jesus. It's going to get better. We all going to heaven. Jesus forgive you for anything. But he ain't forgive your black ass. On that plantation, lynching, false incarceration, convict leasing. I mean, that's another form of slavery. But the achievements, eliminate religion. It's the achievements from the past and present at that time that was mandatory to be acknowledged and celebrated amongst ourselves first and foremost. Because if you don't know what you did, they can tell you anything. And they don't have to be white. They can be Chinese, Mexican, Eastern European, Arabic, Hindu, Indian. You get the point? They can even be Canadian. If you cannot combat the lies, what good is the information being available if no one's going to tap into it to defend their own people and their own history? It might as well be erased. They might as well have another book burning contest to scrub the internet. Burn all the pictures and artifacts. You're already hiding the artifacts that they found from ancient blacks in Nubia from the early 1900s. Before the Arabs started flooding the Nile in Sudan. Making dams and just burying it. Or refusing to let people explore, dig, excavate on what's not flooded. But it's no secret. It's just you either had it in the museum, like the pictures of the Olmecs that weren't published until the 1980s. Just had it in the museum, in the basement, hoping no one will find it. It ain't in plain, a lot of it's not in plain sight, it's just hidden. Or if it's not hidden, it's scattered in museums, Germany, Britain, all over the place. Black Americans don't have access or even a willingness to really go to other countries' museums in Germany to look at, go to a museum and find some ancient black history. Might be in the rest, might be in the basement of that museum also. So, eliminate the church doctrine, whether you Hebrew or Christian. Eliminate the political back and forth. bring together on the foundation of our history. Because if we don't do it, what is the next generation left to learn or assume, or even the culture? Yes, we need improvement on that. That, to me, that's the purpose of the Black History Month. It needs to stay here. The knowledge needs to be advertised more. Not the singers and athlete. Well, no disrespect to an athlete or singer since the civil rights movement or before the civil rights movement. But we're made into entertainment objects. As if that was all we were good for. Know how many black scientists have been working for NASA? And what they've invented and created? Men and women. Black scientists working for NASA. As far as I know, since the 70s. And as far as we've never done anything, we're too stupid. We needed white people to enslave us to teach us something. But it wasn't enslavement. It was more than slavery. It was brutality. It was lack of human rights, like never recorded. And let's talk about that. You know, white people say, "Oh, you all just pick cotton. That's easy." Then why didn't you do it? If a white person felt like, or anybody else, we just picked cotton, that was easy, slavery was cakewalk, why didn't white people do it themselves? Why did not they grow tobacco? Why did not they grow rice? Because we cultivated rice here also. And tobacco is not native to this part of the world. So, when it comes to farming, it's the 1700s that Benjamin Banneker introduced the almanac. I think it was 1792. Benjamin Banneker introduced the almanac. I could be off some years, but I know it was late 1700s. When he used astronomy in a way that was so people would know when to plant seeds. Weather farming based on astronomy. And he put it as an almanac, but he did not invent the practice of farming by astronomy. That goes back. First, I got to mention the Dogon Somali because they discovered the Sirius B star. I'm going to go ahead and say thousands of years ago. But some people leave it to like 700 years ago or whatever. But there's elements that show they were noticing this thousands of years ago because they have a celebration. I think it's every 60 years, even though the star is seen at 50-year intervals. So before that, and I'm going to take it all the way back to Stonehenge. 2,000 years before Stonehenge, we have what we found, what archaeologists and scientists found, a site called Napta Playa. Another word, player. Yeah, they're a player and they playing it just for you. Or they space age players. They players. You know, they doing their thing. I wonder where that word came from. But the site is 2,000 years older than Stonehenge. And this rock formations, and here we go again with some rocks that are too heavy for a human to carry, made in a formation, Nile Valley civilization, Nile Valley being in Africa, for those that are skeptical and didn't know. So they would they built the site with the rocks to match the star system. So every constellation is not visible all year round. So they would go visit the site. If the constellation matched the rock formation, they knew they had 3 weeks before the Nile flooded for the planting season. All that water was coming down. It was time to plant. You had 3 weeks to get it together. So, fast forward that, thousands upon thousands of years, you get to Benjamin Banneker. Obviously, he had superior knowledge of the solar system and weather. Almanacs are still made today, and they say it's some secret that they use and formulas and all that. This Negro Benjamin Banneker said it straight for them. Then they take that and say, oh, we use some advanced this, that, third, whatever. You know. Because you know if you plant something too early, and when you think when it's over with and that temperature drop, you get that frost, you're done. You're done. Even in a area with I want to say almost tropical weather year round, deep south, Florida, it could be in the middle of a particular crop season and it get a freezing temperature, it gets frost, it's over with. That crop is done. Jump back forward to the jargon of doubtful people minimizing the historic brutality of slavery and what came after slavery, the Jim Crow era. So if cotton was so easy to pick and that's all we were good for, say you had a large plantation, which a lot of entities did have large plantations, and filled with slaves, which was racially, if you was a slave, it was looked, oh, he black. Slavery was categorized by race also. So, you had a large plantation, and picking cotton was so easy, but this planter has free labor that he got to barely feed and really barely clothe. That would mean it was a gang of unemployed white men and women. Right? A significant amount of unemployed white men and women. Yeah. And these slaves already had skills and crafts when they were kidnapped from their homeland. So, is it the fact that it wasn't the fact that the white people were too lazy to work? They were forced into unemployment by the growth of slavery. Would they not be? So, as long as slaves were carpenters, architects, blacksmiths, horse jockeys, anchor builders, shipbuilders, seamstress, mechanics, plus over 200 more steel trades or crafts. Why would it be a problem when they were freed and started generating an income for themselves and their families after they were free? Because the horse jockeys, they were Kentucky Derby winners. When they started getting paid for it, then it became a problem. Big problem. When black people started producing their own cotton and selling it, it became a big problem if they wouldn't sell it to a white person for less than what it cost them to grow it and manufacture it. It became a problem when a black person opened his own grocery store, general store, and did good without the help of a white person. And now to get a black person lynched. Don't bow down to their demands. You'll most likely get lynched. So future generations and recipients of wealth, family wealth, and businesses and the growth of were stunted by lynching, mob violence. And if a person was making money, a black person was outdoing them, that's the problem. You making money, he doing his money. You say black people can't do nothing, et cetera, lies, exaggerations, to the extent in their mind in their business. But it's constant pocket watch. How did you get this car? I was doing good at business, paid for it. We need to find a way to take it. Or you owe us money. No, I don't. Then after your property get burned down, but you end up living, so now is you pay the fictitious debt or y'all lose your lives. Then you end up leaving and never coming back. So that's wealth and future wealth and education destroyed. Now that's what reparations are for. The future of your family legacy and independence destroyed. Think about that. The illegal kidnapping and destruction of black families. Convict leasing. That's Black history too. So, well, this is a time for everybody else to basically get into and post, spread, word of mouth, IG, forget all the IG booty crap, the Facebook crap. Post some black historical facts and achievements other than music and sports, please. For the haters of black achievement that want to minimize us, you could take this video and STFU. Watch your effing mouth. Point blank, period.